there, we're Keys and Krates.
And you're watching
DJ Tech Tools.
And this is how we play.
Live. Only live.
Wicca live.
Basically, the three of us, we have like our respected instruments, and I guess it's kind of like the instruments are based on what we came up doing. So I came up as a battle DJ, Tease came up as, like as a pianist and a keyboardist, and Tune came up as a drummer. But the kind of interesting thing about the whole thing is like, we'll divide what we do. So a lot of times, more times, Matisse is playing the chords and the keys and stuff like that, but sometimes I'll even take those responsibilities, or he'll take the sample chopping responsibilities. But overall, like most of the time I would say I'm doing sample chopping. Basically, I have the sample chopped up. And then basically I'll chop out the part that we do on the actual track. So. And then a lot of times if I'm doing sample chops on the other side, I'll do like effects. Like I'll have like this going. So I might be running stuff over there. I might be running like a rise or like falls or basically effects that I'm triggering simultaneously with the sample chops. The way I do it basically is I just make simple scenes that act as tracks in Serato, and I just set cue points. So basically it's super simple. I mean, it's very DJ-esque. Like I've gone and bounced out the stems to the Are We Faded track, and I have the vocal stem, and then I've basically gone and I've just set cue points. So I can manually just chop it up. And then I also have like, I also have scratch control over it, so I'm not limited. I'm able to do things like improvise and do DJ scratch kind of stuff. I'm not limited to just like necessarily MIDI pad sample chop stuff. And then I have like just simple effects like low pass filter, flange thing, which is really fun, and then high pass filter, and that's all running through Serato. And then I have a reverb pedal that I run through the send and returns. Which sounds great. This little Hall of Fame $200 reverb pedal. It's just a guitar pedal. Sounds great. And that's basically my setup. It's like Serato, you know, using MIDI map to the MPD with turntables, and then all, you know, send and returns to a simple guitar reverb pedal. And that's kind of my setup.
I'm kind of responsible for a lot of the melody parts, bass lines, you know, but at times I'll also be playing sound effects and cutting up different particular samples for certain specific songs. I tend to have a lot of different layers of synths and effects, and have a filter and a reverb kind of thing and a pitch bend that I use a lot too. So, you know, for Faded particularly, I'll start off with this sound, one layer of a synth, but I'll have it filtered down that I've got mapped. So I'll kind of start there, and then when the drop comes in, I'll put another layer on along with the bass. You hear that. Then I have a sound effect that we record and put on this key. So it does that. Another sound effect. And I have to map these kind of in a way that works with my particular style of playing. So there'll be melody down here, then a, you know, sample there, effect there, synths up here, filter, delays, pitch bend. So, and I all have kind of control over all of it. And basically I just have to come up with my own kind of custom system of my own synth style where I kind of have memorized every single track in a way that I know where everything is and the specific parts, and we just, I just kind of trigger things as I go through the song. And yeah. When we first started off, I used to bring like 2 keyboards, one really, vintage Dave Smith instrument. And I had we started off with like a Yamaha motif. And I mean, those 2 things together were just a pain in the ass to carry around. And I mean, the Evolver was always getting broken and, things like that. And then it just became apparent as I got to get used to Ableton as a producer. I was like, hey, you know what, there's a lot of things in here that might, apply to our live show. And just the stacking abilities and the way that you can kind of, just layer things on there, the drum samplers and things, really made it not only more, convenient, but just now I can stack like 7 keyboards, lots of power. I can record any sound I want and map it out any way I want on this keyboard, and it's all on my laptop. So, I mean, the travel for that is a lot easier. And then, once Akai came out with this MPK61, it was great for me because it allowed me to then just map everything according to the way that I wanted to do it and really make it set up so that it works for me. And I haven't really looked back. I think it's been 5 years now, 4 or 5 years that I've been using it like this, and it just works.
I'm the drummer. I play most of the drum parts, or all the drum parts, I guess. And kind of similar to these guys, we kind of take the production and break them off into, I break the drum parts off into different pads. I've got all these pads here, plus these mapped to this thing. And then I used to use like acoustic toms and stuff like that. Kind of got rid of those so we did have less microphones in like big rooms. So I've gone to like electronic drums, which are the Roland, which is all powered by this bad boy over here. So it's kind of like my snare and tom sound, like the real tom stuff. And yeah, and then I've got 2 kick triggers. Instead of having just 1 kick drum, kind of have 2 kick triggers so I can do 2 different 808 notes or 2 different kick drum sounds within a track without having to like switch through patches. Because the samples are running through, like he's running them off of kind of Serato, and the pitch is variable, so the tempo wavers. So I kind of have to like follow along or just keep a steady beat so he can play the samples over top. And I just have to be pretty mindful of tempos of each song. So, because if I play faster than the actual sample is, then it'll be a bit of a mess. So kind of, yeah, I definitely have to be mindful of, especially what the samples are playing. For me, I never wanted to have the computer because this is kind of built so it's kind of like you can even hit one of these to change the patches. So it's not like fiddling around with a little computer screen to go through each track because this is mapped differently for each song. So I guess it's a personal choice not to go on to Ableton, although I've been curious about maybe doing that. I think Roland's done a pretty good job of like coming out with new drum modules that are kind of like taking the issues that drummers have with them and kind of implementing them into the next generation. So as long as they keep doing that, I don't see any reason to take this and go to a laptop. Plus these things like pretty much indestructible. So.